And the central image, the observer, is the censor, the experiencer, the evaluator, the judge who wants to conquer or subjugate the other images or destroy them altogether. The other images are the result of judgments, opinions and conclusions by the observer. And the observer is the result of all the other images, therefore the observer is the observed. So awareness has revealed the different states of one's mind, has revealed the various images and the contradiction between the images, has revealed the resulting conflict and the despair at not being able to do anything about it and the various attempts to escape from it. All this has been revealed through cautious hesitant awareness. And then comes the awareness that the observer is the observed. It is not a superior entity who becomes aware of this. It is not a higher self, the superior entity. The higher self are merely inventions, further images. It is the awareness itself which had revealed that the observer is the observed. If you ask yourself a question, who is the entity who is going to receive the answer? And who is the entity who is going to inquire? If the entity is part of consciousness, part of thought, then it is incapable of finding out. What it can find out is only a state of awareness. But if in that state of awareness there is still an entity who says, I must be aware, I must practice awareness, that again is another image. This awareness that the observer is the observed is not a process of identification with the observed. To identify ourselves with something is fairly easy. Most of us identify ourselves with something, with our family, our husband or wife, our nation, and that leads to great misery and great wars. We are considering something entirely different, and we must understand it not verbally but in our core, right at the root of our being. In ancient China, before an artist began to paint anything, a tree, for instance, he would sit down in front of it for days, months, years. It didn't matter how long, until he was the tree. He did not identify himself with the tree, but he was the tree. This means that there was no space between him and the tree. No space between the observer and the observed. No experiencer experiencing the beauty, the movement, the shadow, the depth of a leaf, the quality of color. He was totally the tree. And in that state only could he paint. Any movement on the part of the observer, if he has not realized that the observer is the observed, creates only another series of images, and again he is caught in them. But what takes place when the observer is aware that the observer is the observed? Go slowly. Go very slowly. Because it is a very complex thing we are going into now. What takes place? The observer does not act at all. The observer has always said, I must do something about these images. I must suppress them or give them a different shape. He is always active in regard to the observed, acting in